So maybe you've heard about Bandcamp from music fans and independent artists. You've been hearing about it for so long that now you don't really know what it is, but you're too afraid to ask. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what is Bandcamp, how is it different for Spotify and the streaming platforms, and if you're an independent artist, and specifically if you're an independent record label, do you even need to have your music on Bandcamp? Let's discuss. Hi, I'm Scott, and welcome to Other Record Labels, a community for independent record labels. Whether you're thinking about starting a record label right now or you've already been running your uber successful record label for millions of years, this is the home for you. Please subscribe and check out otherrecordlabels.com/Bandcamp. That's where I'm going to keep some of my Bandcamp resources. So if you're new to Bandcamp or you want to get better at using Bandcamp, I have my best practices there and some checklists that you can check out. So go to otherrecordlabels.com/Bandcamp. Today, we're just going to answer the simple question of what is Bandcamp? Bandcamp is a digital platform for buying and selling music. So it's for the people who sell music, which is independent artists and independent record labels. And it's for the people who buy music, which are music fans. What's great about it is it's open to the public, meaning the general public, they don't need a subscription to buy music. They can just go to it and buy the music that they want, or the records or the tapes or the CDs or the t-shirts that they want. And artists can list on there. There's just like a nominal fee or a percentage they take, and then there's like a PayPal fee, but they don't have to pay a subscription per se to have their music or to apply. They can literally go and open an account today, upload a couple MP3s, and then give it away for free or sell it instantly. It would take like 20 minutes. The platform is actually really popular amongst engaged fans. So some fans who like Spotify playlists and maybe aren't even really familiar with the artists they listen to, they like Spotify, they like Apple Music, or they like Tidal, or they like Amazon or Google or whatever. But then there's some fans who are diehard fans. They are really committed. We call those engaged fans or active fans. And those are people who want to buy a t-shirt. They want to communicate directly with the artist. They want to make sure they're supporting a label that is in a niche or a genre that they're really passionate about. And that's the kind of fans who really benefit from Bandcamp and who actually camp out, if you will, on Bandcamp, supporting artists all the time. Let's dive into this topic of Spotify real quick. How is it different from the streaming platforms? How is it different from Spotify? Well, one of the ways I like to think about it, and actually this came from Bandcamp themselves when I interviewed Bandcamp, and I've heard them talking about the difference between renting music and owning music. And on Spotify, as a music fan, you pay like $9.99 a month, and you actually are kind of renting the music, right? If you stop paying, you stop getting access to the music, unless you've put your tape recorder up to the speakers and recorded that music like they did in the old days. When you're done paying your subscription, you don't get the music anymore. Where it's different on Bandcamp, where you actually buy the downloads like you used to do in iTunes, and you get those MP3s. And of course, if you buy a record or a CD or a tape, then you get that forever. And so Bandcamp kind of prides itself on, for now anyway, at the time of recording this, the difference between renting music and owning music. And they think it's really important that music fans own music and that music artists and record labels get fairly compensated. And the best way to do that is by exchanging a certain dollar amount for an album. You know what I mean? There's also this concept of active fans and passive fans. And I don't mean to dismiss passive fans, because people who listen to Spotify playlists and just kind of enjoy a specific genre, maybe not a certain artist or a certain record label, that's okay. They help keep the whole ecosystem alive as well. But Bandcamp is active fans. They're fans that want to be more engaged. They want to connect. They want to hear from the artists that they like, and they want to get involved with the record labels that they love. They buy physical merchandise like vinyl and t-shirts and tapes and CDs. And sometimes they actually pay extra. That's a kind of a cool feature on Bandcamp, is they let music fans tip artists and record labels by paying a little bit more, which is kind of a weird concept, but like people are always looking for coupons and sales and stuff. But there's an opportunity for like, hey, you want to like, this record's $18, you want to round it up to $20. And fans do that all the time. You'd be amazed. So here's a question real quick. Do you need Bandcamp? Well, let me answer that question for three different groups of people. First of all, if you're an independent artist that self-releases your own music, it's a no-brainer. It gives fans the option to pay more, and it gives fans the option to go deeper and to connect on a deeper level with you, to message you directly, and for you to actually see real cash in your bank account. That's a huge thing. Now, what if you're an independent record label, and most of the people who watch this channel are independent record labels or people thinking about starting an independent record label? Do you need to be on Bandcamp? Again, this is a no-brainer. You can grow a following on Bandcamp that is unlike anywhere else. If you have followers on Instagram, chances are they may not see your content because of the algorithm. They also might just follow millions of people, and so they just scroll and scroll and they don't stop and care about you. On Bandcamp, it's different. They followed you because they've made a purchase or they've actively chosen to follow you. So as a record label, when you come out with new releases every month or every quarter, they're going to see that. They're going to get an email alert about that, and they might take the time to listen more than they would on social media. Another reason that record labels like Bandcamp is because it's very supportive of super weird genres, of just off-center music, experimental music, and all the different subgenres of electronic music or noise or ambient, or all of the subgenres of metal or punk. These can find a home almost a little bit better on Bandcamp than they can on platforms like Spotify that maybe wouldn't have a playlist for some of these outside the box genres. And so if that's you, if that's your style of music, or you're thinking about starting a record label with a non-mainstream genre, then I think you'll find a better home on Bandcamp, in addition to the streaming platforms, of course. But on Bandcamp, there's more listeners who are a little bit more on the wild side. Finally, if you're a music fan, it's also a no-brainer because it gives you a really beautiful opportunity to support artists on a greater level than you're supporting them on Spotify. Listen, if you subscribe to Apple Music and you have a bunch of music in your collection, the artists are getting paid, the record labels are getting paid a small amount, a very small amount, but it's still contributing. And some artists do really well on streaming platforms, and that is a significant portion of their revenue stream. Same for record labels. Some record labels do really well on streaming platforms, and that's a significant piece of the revenue pie for the careers of those artists and record labels. But Bandcamp is another piece of the pie. And for a lot of labels that I know, it's the biggest piece of the pie because fans can support them directly in a meaningful way, and they get more of the money than they do on streaming platforms. It's also a place where you can get stuff that you can't get anywhere else. You can get test pressings from a band that you love. You can get written lyrics. These are things you can't get from Apple Music. You can't even really get from social media because it's an e-commerce store. It's not just a digital music platform, but you can buy physical merch on it. For fans, it's amazing because you can get a digital album of a new album that you've been looking forward to, but you might also get to pair that with a t-shirt or with a CD or whatever format the band is offering or whatever format that you enjoy the most. And let's be honest, on Bandcamp, you can discover better music. There's some artists and record labels who only upload to Bandcamp and they don't have a way to distribute their music on streaming platforms. So there's some really great music that's kind of hiding on Bandcamp that you maybe don't know about. And because Spotify is so reliant on algorithms, you might miss out on some really cool left of center music that's hiding on Bandcamp. I have more resources for independent artists and independent record labels on the topic of Bandcamp. So go to otherrecordlabels.com/Bandcamp. Thanks for watching and go to Bandcamp.